Hey everyone, how's it going? I'd like to share a special review, and that one is the Star Trek Generations, which is the seventh feature, Star Trek feature, and of course, it marks 30 years since it was released in theaters, and of course, this film was intended as a passing of the baton from the original cast to the Next Generation cast as they transitioned from the series to feature films. So the story starts off with Kirk, Chekhov, and Scotty, as guests aboard the Enterprise B, and then of course, the Enterprise B ends up in a situation where they, end up responding to a distress call, with two Lorian ships, caught in an energy ribbon, and of course, since the Enterprise B is the only ship within the area to rescue them, that's what they have to do. And then of course, the ship ends up getting trapped in there, and then while Kirk, tries to save the Enterprise B, he's presumed, missing. And then of course, the film transitions to the crew of the Next Generation, in which they're celebrating Worf's promotion, and then Picard ends up receiving some personal tragedy news of his own, and then it kind of like how would you say, kind of makes him like a bit emotional, and like he kind of feels like, how much time does like he really have, or like does he feel like he's, how would you say, like the last of the Picards. And then of course there's Dr. Soren, who's an Aurian, like Guinan, but he wants to go back to the Nexus, like a temporal paradise in which all your thoughts and desires come true. But then of course, there's no time has no meaning there, so basically you could go from any time to wherever you want, which I think is a pretty cool concept. And in terms of how the film holds up 30 years later, I know at the time it was considered like a mixed bag, because many kind of people felt like the original cast should have been utilized more, and they were kind of like, in a sense, nothing more than glorified cameos, which to an extent was true, even though initially, the original plan was to feature more of the original cast. But some of them turned it down, like Leonard Nimoy, feeling like there was nothing substantial for Spock to do, and felt like it was nothing more than a glorified cameo, in which his lines could have been said by anybody and it would have made a difference, which to an extent I agree with. But it was amazing that despite the flaws that Generation has, but it's still actually a very watchable film. And of course it has great quotes from Picard, as always, especially when he says, time is the companion, goes with us on the journey and reminds us to cherish every moment, which is something I definitely share and agree with, since you never want to waste an opportunity, and you always want to be precious and thankful for all the precious moments you do have. So that's one takeaway from the film. And like I said, it's a very, how would I say, philosophy type base, if that's one way of looking at it. So that's my take on it. All right, everyone. Look forward to sharing more content again soon as the Wicked and the much anticipated Gladiator 2 come out, and I look forward to sharing my thoughts on that. Thank you.